Welcome to the Jaron Jarvis channel. I am Jaron Jarvis. Today, I would like to introduce to you, The Lies I Tell Part 1. The Lies I Tell, Part 1. The best advice my mother ever gave me was, you can pick your friends and you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your friend's nose. Needless to say, she gave terrible advice. However, she was always an honest woman. She would never hide her feelings or opinions, despite the situation. I miss her. She would always shy away from tight clothing, because she didn't want to show off her rolls. My mother has always been self-conscious about her body, but she is really tall and thin. Was tall and thin. I choke, and put the pieces of notebook paper on the table next to me. I'm sorry, I can't do this. I announce to the crowd of people in front of me and begin to walk off of the stage, but I stop once I reach my mother's casket. My sister Ardeline walks up to me, grabbing my elbows. Sophie, you haven't talked about Mom at all since they died. She whispered. Murdered, she was murdered. I corrected Ardeline as quickly as I could. I'm not doing this. She's not even in there. I gesture towards the empty mahogany teakwood casket. She would have preferred maple wood. The FBI is keeping my mother's body until they can solve the case. Everyone said having a funeral would give me closure, but all it has done is stress me out to the absolute maximum. My mom, Janice Jacobs, was killed March 1, 1994, less than 2 weeks ago. Suffocated with 13 stab wounds. No fingerprints, no loose hair, nothing. Police say it was the cleanest murder scene they have seen in over 80 years. No, she had no enemies. No, she never abused drugs. No, I haven't heard from my father. No. My father was the first and only suspect. He disappeared the morning my mother's body was found. He has had a minor alcohol problem since his brother passed, which of course was followed with an anger problem. I understand that all of these factors point directly at my father, but it was not him. I am more than sure of it. He gets angry pretty easily, but he was never violent. He wouldn't even lay a finger on a fly, much less my mother. I leave the funeral home. I couldn't stay much longer. I was tired of everyone staring at me as if I'm crazy. I'm not crazy, I just miss my mom and I am willing to do whatever it takes to never mind. On my drive home the roads feel empty. No traffic, only a few cars in sight. I proceed over a long bridge that stretches across Lake Houston. For just a quick moment a dark thought enters my mind, drive off the bridge, it'll make everything better. I don't let it sink in and I turn my radio up. The woman on the show brings up my mother. If you haven't heard about the murder of Janice Jacobs, you must really be living under a rock, her raspy 2 packs a day voice continued. Her 2 daughters have made it their priority to make sure the whole state is aware. Local police enforcement are saying that for now the investigation is at a halt due to poor evidence lack thereof. But it's obvious and we all know who the killer is. Don't say it. The man on the station continues to say he has no clue, that this case is just like the John Benet Ramsey case. Cold it was her husband, Gary Jacobs. Why else would he disappear after his wife is killed? People are already saying that he didn't even attend the funeral. If you have any tips, call the local sheriff's office. As for now, if you'd like to give us your unfiltered opinions on this topic, give us a call at. She gave out the number and I dial as soon as I can. I don't believe they'll answer me, but it is worth a shot. To my surprise someone picks up. Hello, you are on the air, caller number 6, what's your name? I don't give her an answer and I say, it wasn't Gary. The whole station lets out a laugh. Well then you told us it wasn't Gary, who was it? I take in a deep breath, I know it wasn't him, my father would never hurt my mother. I hear a faint gasp on the other line, are we talking to the Sophie Jacobs? I decide not to answer, it's as if they're treating my family like celebrities. I will not be their entertainment. I refuse. My father had the kindest soul known to man. He wouldn't dare touch her in a way that wasn't loving. The person who killed my mother, Janice, is a monster. To suffocate and stab someone to death, there has to be more than built-up anger and frustration. That's pure hate. Almost animalistic. I pause, realizing that I gave away the whole cause of death to the entire city. Well, Sophie, tell me this. Why aren't you at your mother's funeral? Could it be a guilty conscience? I hang up immediately. The man on air complains to the bitch about how she had gone way too far. That she must be a sick person to accuse a daughter of killing her own mother. He was right, she was a sick person. Little did he know. He was right.